We'll start it off by saying I'm homeless, folks. I got kicked out of my Malibu place. That's a clinic, rehab for wealthy people. And they decided they wanted to make some changes on the property, so they had to have a building inspector come over and approve the changes that they wanted to make. So the building inspector decided to inspect everything on the property. Came to my house and he said, "There's no permit for this house. You got to tear it down."
Oh my goodness.
So I just got notice on Tuesday. So everything is going into boxes.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm homeless. And they gave me till the 18th, but I'm leaving tomorrow for Thailand, so I have to pack up everything in 5 days,
Jeez. Do you have help?
No, I don't want any help because I want to know what exactly everything is. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
People did offer to help, but I can't afford it. I need to know where everything is. So I've been getting 1 hour sleep a day. So, they've offered me I returned September 23rd to no home. So they had some bungalows up near Canadum Road, and one of them's 1 bedroom, so they're going to give me that till mid-November. Because as soon as I get back, I'm only back a week, and then I go on my next tour here. I go to Aspen, then Sedona, Chicago, and then St. Louis. So I'll be gone that whole month, of October. So I'll have just 2 weeks in November to look for a place.
You don't need a home.
Pardon?
So you don't need a home in
I need one about 3 months a year, here in L.A., so that one was a perfect one. My hot tub, everything. And they've got to bury the hot tub. That's illegal.
No.
I didn't know you needed a permit, but, if I had gone for a permit for that hot tub then, I would have lost the house 10 years ago. So that's when I built the hot tub.
You've been there 10 years?
Been there 11 years.
Oh, that's
11 years. Yeah. I thought I was going to be able to be there for my life.
Did you own the house, Aajonus?
No. I would have had a heart attack if I had to tear it down. It were mine.
Oh, yeah.
No, it belongs to Fred Siegel. So, he's the Fred Siegel clothing store.
So you were leasing it from him?
No, renting. Well, I was leasing on a yearly lease, but he said that I could, because he's on the diet and it saved his life and changed his whole life. He said that I could live there as long as I wanted, even after he's dead. In fact, he made a deal when he leased the place to the rehab center, the clinic, that I stay there no matter what. But the contract is on that house. The house is gone. That's it. So,
you take it pretty good.
What am I going to do about it? I was upset for 2 hours.
Move on. Time for a change.
Screw it. Can't worry about it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All I need, I'm here so little, so it's okay. 1, 2 days at a time.
Packing your stuff up? Where are you going to keep your stuff? I mean,
well,
your bed
they have Fred on his part of the land that he didn't lease to them. He has a small storage house. He's going to put everything there for me. And I've got 3 boxes that just has everything that I absolutely have to have. So I'm not living like a hotel, because that's basically, I live out of a suitcase, for 9.5 months a year.
Is that your plan, just to come back here a month at a time or something, 3 times a year?
Well, that's the way I'm doing it now. I'm going away for 4 months and coming back for 2 to 3 months, and then going away again. So.
And you're building a house in the Philippines, aren't you? A getaway?
Not yet. It hasn't started the one. It's almost about to begin. There, even though it's more remote, and, no roads into that area, no paved roads, and I have to cross 3 rivers. We got caught in one of the rivers and almost got washed out into the ocean, when he and I were there last August. But that's finally bought the property, finally went through in January. So, I mean, it's been, because it's 618 meters up the mountain, and it's in, forested land, and they're very particular about everything. So I had to get a permit and permission and have the town developers, the city of Puerto Princesa, their engineers design the road because it's, this steep sometimes. So they had to build a road which was a half a mile up the mountain to get to my property. It took them 4 months to build it. And I had to get permission to take down the trees and,
So it's a process.
It was a heck of a process. So then that was at the one end of the property is about a half a mile long. It's a kilometer by almost 60%, 2/3 of a kilometer, going back. So it's a big piece of property. The one in Thailand's only 34 acres. The one in Philippines is 108 acres.
Only 34 acres.
Yeah. And 108 acres is the one
nice.
in the Philippines. So I needed a lake build at the end where I was going to build the property, because where it goes at that end, at the north end of the property, there's a river that runs down and some big waterfalls on it, and that runs all year round. Then along the back of the property, there's a river that runs along the back and all along the other side. So on 3 sides of the property there are lakes, now the rivers. Now the one on the north end, that is so big that that's government owned, but my land goes right up to it. The one that's behind and on the other side is on my property. So
What made you choose the Philippines?
Pardon?
What made you choose the Philippines to live?
Because it was the most remote area I could get without getting into hostility. So, if I was gone towards Indonesia or Malaysia, there's a lot of hostility towards white people. So I didn't want to get into that. And Filipinos love white people. Americans.
Joe.
I don't know why.
Joe.
Huh?
I call you Joe.
No.
I was in northern movies. They kept calling me Joe. Hey, Joe. From G.I. Joe. From the Vietnamese guys during the Vietnam War. A bunch of GIs lived there.
But this is, if you look at the Philippines, you've got the big island Luzon here, where Manila is, and then you've got all these other islands that go off over here, Samar and Leyte, and then you have some fairly large islands there, which are Bohol, Cebu, Negros, and those are popular ones. And then you have the big island, Mindanao here, and Samal and all the little islands around that. Then way over here, there's a long island, and that's Palawan, where I am. There are only 2% of the roads are paved.
Wow.
So it's the town I live in, there are 200 people, and they're all spread out over, about 5 miles. 200 people over a 5-mile area.
Wow.
So, and they live off the land. There's no electricity. They have electricity 1.5 hours a day, and that's it. And because the city paid for a power thing for them to have electricity 1.5 hours a day.
Do they fish? Is that how
Yeah,
they-
that's what they.
Yeah.
It's right on the ocean there. So, on the place where I built my property was where the wind comes through, because it's all mountainous there, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way up the mountain, and all the way up to close to the top of that first peak, and it goes back about 12 miles to more mountains, and that river runs 12 miles all the way down through my property. I only hiked 3 miles back to see, how it was all the way back there, and there's nothing back there but monkeys and animals.
Drinking water must be good.
Pardon?
Drinking water must be...
Oh, I drank right out of that stream.
That's what...
It's nice.
They freaked out because they're told malaria. They'll get malaria from it.
Oh my God.
I was drinking and I was bathing in it, They were freaked out. They thought I was going to
They
get
get
malaria.
the drinking water that they like, that they drink. The people who live there, do they have wells?
They'll collect rain. They won't drink it out of a stream. They're indoctrinated to believe that they're going to get some disease. They're going to get malaria. And it's a falsehood. believe that mosquitoes give malaria too, and it's a joke. It's ridiculous. That's a little bitty mosquito is going to bite you. Now think about this. Mosquito is a female. The only reason she drinks blood is to feed her offspring. She doesn't want that blood contaminated. She's not going to contaminate you when they bite you. The proboscis goes in and it bites as many cells as it can, so it creates a pool of blood. She sucks it out. No saliva involved in it or anything. So it's a whole ridiculous joke.
Well, what about malaria? And they say that's transmitted by...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lie.
Well, that must be a government lie.
Malaria comes from not eating enough protein and getting very sick in a humid climate. And they only eat like 5%, 10% meats. The healthier ones that eat a lot because they're fishing. Around where I bought my property, there's a lot. But if you're one of the poorer people who has a big family, they eat too much rice. 80% of the diet is rice. The reason I was able to get the property, because they don't allow any foreigners over in that area, was the second chief of this area, this district, or what do they call it, barangay. He was supposed to show me the property the first time, and this was almost a year ago. It was about a year ago this time. February, I guess it was, a year ago February. And I went there to see it, and he said, I'm sorry, I can't spend the whole day with you. 2 of my girls have malaria, and I have to take them to the hospital. They're really sick. So that was, we had three languages to translate from. The native language to Tagalog to English. So by the time it got translated to me, I said 76% of the people who go into hospital for malaria die in the hospital. Only 24% die if they don't go into the hospital. So that was translated into him, and he thought for a few minutes, and he said, it's probably true. 2 of my girls, he had 5 girls, he said 5 years ago, 2 of my girls got malaria, and I took them to the hospital, and they were dead in 24 hours, less than 24 hours. And I said, all you do is you take 2 ounces of lemon juice, 2 ounces of honey, and mix it with 6 ounces of coconut water, and give them a tablespoon of that every hour for 3 days, and then 2 tablespoons every 2 hours, or 1 tablespoon every 2 hours for another 3 days. So he did that. He took me to the property, spent the day there with me, and he gave that to the kids, and they were fine. So that was why they decided to let me buy the property.
Oh, that's a great story.
So, they have a benefit for me being there. Otherwise, they would have sold it to me. Of course, they have a corporation, so where I own 40%, and the Filipinos have to own 60. So I got a taxi driver, my driver.
You have a taxi driver?
And a taxi driver, he's my foreman. He used to be in farming, now he's a taxi driver. So whenever I'm there, he devotes all of his time to me,
That's very nice.
So, it's like $20 a day.
Bargain.
Yeah, tell me. $20 a day, and he'll take me everywhere, and he's mine for 24 hours.
Wow.
I've taken cruises all around the island. We had to rent a car, which was most expensive. But I shipped a FJ Cruiser over there. Because I got a retirement visa, I was able to import a car. So FJ Cruiser is like a cross between a Jeep and a Hummer.
Oh, that's good.
And it's a Toyota 4-wheel drive. It's a true off-road vehicle. You can take those things and ride up the side of a cliff, like this.
Wow.
It won't turn over. And because we got stuck in the river, I needed something high, so it has 6-inch lifts. So for me to get up in it, I got to climb up in it. So it's an excellent car. In fact, I have shots of a car being washed out in the river like we did with a FJ Cruiser that didn't have lips on it, and it finally hit it was floating this much out of the thing. You just see the top of the car only, and then it hit a barge area, turned right on, drove right out.
Wow.
That's the car I want.
Perfect.
So, so I've got that there. It cost me a fortune. The FJ Cruiser, they don't import them there, but I found 2 of them only for sale in the Philippines that had been imported by Filipinos who had lived other places and returned and brought their cruisers with them, and they wanted $60,000 for it. So I bought it for $22,000 here, and it's worth $46,000. It's 2007, and it cost me $13,000, almost $15,000 to import it. So I still had to pay a fortune for it, but it's the vehicle that I want.
How do you get the gas?
Pardon?
How do you get the gas for it?
Well, there's gas stations there.
Wow, I thought you were so remote.
Well, I have extra gas tanks, to take with.
What's
Even
your
an
plan for
extra
the property?
battery. Pardon?
What's your plan for the property? I mean, you're going to do something.
Well, that property is just for me and relatives and friends. But the one in Thailand will be a health spa. It's even, when I got there I can own 49% of the corporation. In Filipinos, I'm only allowed to own 40%. So, in my attorney's brother,
They actually they have to put it on the tax.
They have to be owners. They're shareholders.
Shareholders.
Yeah, shareholders. So basically the way I set it up was they have certain responsibilities. They'll never be able to fulfill it. So therefore, the surviving entity will own it. So they really can't take it from me. There's no way they could do it. They couldn't afford to keep the land.
Right.
So I made sure of that. And the one in Thailand, I registered as a health spa.
Yeah, a spider.
Where?
It's called
Oh my God.
Flying Bird Farms, Health and Beauty,
Sorry.
Rebirthing Spa.
Me or him. Thank you.
So that's the one I will make into a clinic eventually, if my backers come in. To help that way. I'm not going to build it myself. It's too expensive, and it's getting too much in there. It would get too much into debt for me, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Is that up near Chiang Rai?
No, it's near. It's part of Khon Kaen province. You know where Udon Thani is?
On the eastern side, isn't it?
No, it's central. So late Vientiane, Laos is here. You drop down about 100 kilometers, and there's Udon Thani. Then you drop down about 130, 140 kilometers, maybe it's 200 kilometers, Khon Kaen, and I'm off about 75 kilometers from that, or more, probably 90 kilometers.
So how will you feed the fish in your pond?
Fish scraps. I'll go collect them in town, and then after I'm there, I just feed them any meat scraps that I have. Just throw it into the pond and eat.
Do you think that's as good as ocean fish? Or
Well, in Thailand, I can't get the ocean fish because I'm dead center in the country, so no water around me except for a huge lake, and there is a lake that's probably about 60 miles long, and it looks like fingers if you see it. It looks like a hand with all these fingers coming out of it. And it's a pretty big lake. It's probably 40 miles wide, 80, 90 miles long. And I'm probably 2 miles from it, walking distance. But I'll take fish from there and scallops, and they have lots of like shrimp, freshwater prawns, and I'll put those in my fish pond and build my aquarium. big aquariums that I will eat from.
Yummy.
Yes. So I mainly eat fish, freshwater fish there. But when I'm in Palawan, the place where I cut the area for a house is overlooking. I've got a panoramic view of the ocean and the mountains. So it's gorgeous. So that's only about a mile down to the ocean from there. And I do have a big old dirt bike and now the FJ Cruiser to get around there. So I can go down fishing anytime I want.
Are there animals on Palawan, like cows and
Yeah.
lots of that?
There's a dairy that's a government dairy that was a test dairy that was started. New Zealand funded it. Now they fund it, but I get all the milk that they have. They only have 2 milking cows, but they're Holsteins, so there's very little fat, very little cream in them, and so they're V2 cows, A2s, not A1s. So the milk, even though it's nourishing, is not as nourishing as I would like. So I will find some, and there are on different islands, like on Samal Island. There's 7,107 islands in the Philippines. I will do a lot of island hopping to see all of it. But I found a big dairy on Samal Island, which is part of Mindanao, and they've got a pretty big dairy there, and they have jerseys. So I will either buy it from them or...
Can you buy a couple cows?
Yeah, I'm going to buy a couple cows. Yeah. I just have to put the fence up.
Will you be able to get enough cream in a tropical environment from the cows?
Yeah, it's that when you have a cow in the tropics, the vitamin D in it keeps it homogenized, so it doesn't separate the same. But I don't need it to separate in the tropics because I don't need... If you eat butter there, which I take with me, it causes a lot more perspiration and heat, body heat. I like the heat, so it doesn't bother me, but people look at me dripping wet, and they say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I said, "I love it." Mm-hmm. But if you have the cream and milk, you don't perspire as much. Butter will make you perspire profusely. So I wouldn't make butter there. I would just have rich, creamy milk.
So people coming in wouldn't be getting butter at the clinic?
No. Well, I would probably import some, or somehow make some. And definitely I would have to have milk for butter for some sick people. I would find a way, put a little bit of lemon or something in it to separate it, to make sure it's separated.
So there's really no way to get butter in a tropical place from a tropical farm?
Yeah, there is. You just have to have a certain kind of cow. And they have to eat. You have to grow something that they'll produce more fat. When they're eating the regular grasses there, no matter what it is, they're not going to produce much fat.
What are you hoping to achieve with your health spa?
Help people get well. That's all. Because there's a lot of people who need, daily help. And I'm not set up for that, and I've had a lot of people ask me for that over the years. People with cancer or MS, serious problems that could get well fast if I were there to help them. So I would be for that.
Yeah. Are you going to be doing any training when you set up your
Well, if I set that up, I will definitely do trainings. I'll have probably anywhere from 20 to 40 students. And most of them will be in temps,
intense trainings?
And, I'm right at the foot of the mountain forestry in Thailand. So they're pretty delicate about, how it's used. They've stopped me from digging my lake 3 times. They say I said, but I own it. And they said, no, you don't have a Chinook property title. So we say what happens with that land. So, 2 more months I get my Chinook deed. So all they're doing is delaying it. But they've delayed it. Now they've delayed it enough where the rainy season starts in about a week, 2 weeks. So I won't be able to dig it out. When I finally get the Chinook, I'll have to wait till next year to drain it. I have to drain it for irrigation. But I've dug it 30 feet deep And right now it's dug like, almost like this is a horseshoe like here. Here's almost a square cut over here. And the land in the center is lower because all the dirt that was used was built up a dam on the sides and front. So it's going to be more than 30 feet deep. So I'm going to have to let a lot of the water out to be able to dig it, from the opposite side. Or I could just leave it as a beachfront, where the water goes into the water like that.
So if you were training people, how would they be able to stay in Thailand for the whole...
They would get a student
So it would be
permit.
uh-huh.
Every year you can renew it.
Right.
I got my retirement visa in in Philippines, but not in Thailand, because it's not conducive. You can't do business if you become a retiree in Thailand. So I have to renew every year. In Philippines, I'm lifetime.
But you were a student visa? Or how do you stay in Thailand for a year?
Well, I'm a business person.
Uh-huh.
So I get my business permit every November. It goes for a year. And I have to do that indefinitely. Every year I have to renew for a year. But if anybody wants to be a student, they apply for a student permit. And that's a yearly basis. But my course would run about 3 years to 4 years.
So they just have to reapply every year?
Pardon?
They have to reapply every year?
Yeah, they have to reapply, even though my course would be 3 to 4 years. Probably a 3-year course.
And what would be your prerequisites?
Pardon?
What would be your prerequisites?
The books, every information in the books, and the DVD, and my newsletters backwards and forwards. So we don't have to deal with the knowledge of what foods do what. You'll already know that. We deal with the patient. Watching the changes in the patient, know what to look for, how to analyze the health. It would be diagnostics, but I'm not allowed to use that word because I'm not a licensed doctor. But basically how to observe what's wrong with the patient, how to know what's wrong with the patient, and if there are questions, how to find out, by observing them, what is the problem, what are the problems involved, and then how to deal with them on a changing basis, on a daily basis.
Would you be teaching them iridology at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if I have, let's say, 40 students, there would be a group of 4 groups of 10, and each one of them would write one of my books, books on training. One would focus on iridology, one would focus on physical appearances, coloring, skin coloring, changes, swelling, stuff like that. So a book on that, symptoms, and then a book on treatment, how to treat them, and then another book on overall how to put it all together. So there would be 10 students concentrating on a particular phase of my clinic. So by the time we finished, I wouldn't have to have more students, although I probably would, and there would be training guides and movies taken. We'd have videos, everything, record everything, for that 3-year period. So that people all over the world, without having to come to Thailand and be with me, could pretty much get it.
Yeah.
How to do it.
Yeah.
But those 20 to 40 who would be there with me would know it.
Yeah.
They would know it. They would be me. So I figure 40 people could take care of the world.
It's a big world.
I know.
And what happens to the rest of the people that are back here while you're over there? As far as...
Well, I'll still be bouncing back. I'll find the 2 or 3 or 4 smartest ones there that really get it, because there's always a few of those. Because all the people who've applied are very, very bright people.
You already have them?
Oh, I've got probably 80 people who've applied,
You've already...
and I'm only going to take half of them at the most.
Cool.
Maybe only a fourth.
How do you apply?
You just send me an email and let me know that you're interested, And I tell you the prerequisites are you have to know the books backwards and forwards, and you will be tested. If you don't pass the test, then you won't be, you won't.
Do you have any
make it.
MDs?
Pardon?
Do you have any medical doctors?
Yes, I've got
interested?
3 medical doctors,
Good.
probably about 20 nutritionists.
What are you going to do to test?
Pardon?
What are you going to test everything? You're waiting till the clinic going to people?
I'll test them on the information in the books, my books.
Everything
Oh,
you're
wait a
gonna do
minute.
down the line? Are you going to do that later all at the time?
Yes, that'll all be done at the same time. All that testing will happen. As soon as I know the food's growing on a continuous basis, because I have to have the food, there can't be an interruption in it. So I'll have that. Certain things I'll farm out to local farmers that are around. They will grow. Other things I have to grow. Now right now there's no coconuts growing on my property in Thailand. And that takes 7 years to get to the point where, so I have to farm out the coconuts from somewhere else. But practically everything else, we can grow on the land. Some, fruits that take 7 years to grow, of course, I won't be able to grow those. It's one of those injection spots flaming up again. It's anniversary.
What's your time frame?
Well, it depends on when the money comes and start building the properties. I'm going to be working for the next 4 months in both locations, growing food, getting fences up for the animals. So I should have everything very established. I've got the layout for the property, where the food's going to be growing, how it's going to be organized and laid out.
Going to have your hot tubs too?
I will have.
No, I mean for the retreat.
Oh, there'll be probably 20. 20 of them, but they're going to be designed like those in Vietnam. Like if you go to Nha Trang, Vietnam, you can go to a spa and you won't hear about it. It's, even though heavy touristed from all over the world, the locals, most of them don't even know that it's there. So it's, it's publicized. People from all over Asia come there. And you get into these wooden tubs, 2 people can fit in, and they have fire hoses, and they pump liquid clay. It's like plaster thick, and you just pack yourself in it, and you stay in there for 20 minutes, and then you get out, you go into the shower, and then you get into a hot tub. You've got different sizes
Sounds
of
great.
hot tubs to get into for the family and for the individuals. And then you stay in there about 20 minutes, and then they have a huge swimming pool and some small swimming pools that are no chlorine, nothing, just running natural hot springs,
Nice.
very nice and perfect temperatures. So it's a wonderful, it's like $50 a day. It really is. That's even expensive for Vietnam. But that's the kind of thing I want to have. Not to have a lot of people, but for the people who are sick, I want to have that kind of a clay resource. So I have to truck in probably, dig a hole, very deep hole, and have probably 5 truckloads of that clay, and then have it put into a pool of water, a spring of water to keep it moist, and then of course something to heat it. Hot spring, probably dig down and drill down until I hit a hot spring, and let that come up and heat the clay, and then pump it in and just recycle it.
I've been to Mexico Canyon, Ivy Hot Springs.
Oh yes, I've been there many times.
That
Yeah.
clay, you put it on.
Yeah, but that's hard, and they put it on a plate. This stuff is liquid. You just shoot it in.
Oh, okay. But
You shoot it into the bath.
Well, you put it on you with salt, and then it gets hard with the sun.
Yeah, but it's still
I
hard.
don't know where they get that clay from. It's red clay.
Yeah, they import it from Northern California. But it's, they put it on this big concrete
Right.
pillar, and then they pack it on there, and it's about as hard as pottery clay. But this place in Vietnam, I mean, this is plaster of Paris
Does
thin.
it get hard from the sun, the one you're talking about? Or
They don't let it harden.
Oh.
They're like me. I don't believe in letting it harden because that pulls all the fats out of your cells and your skin, kills your layer or two of your skin. What you want is the bacteria from the clay to go in and help nurture and pull out without pulling out all the fats. And that's what happens if you let it dry. So when I go to Ivy, I just stay in the mud pool. And I just keep wetting it, keep it wet, you know. And I stay in the water with the clay.
Does it feel stimulating when it dries? Is it kind of...
I don't let it dry.
Oh, that's right, you don't want it dry.
Yeah, if
But
it
if-
does,
but it's
the
good.
skin will dry.
Okay.
It'll draw up, but it'll die within a few days because there's no fat in it. It draws all the fat out of the cells.
Okay.
So it's not a good thing.
Maybe for someone with very oily skin, like we used to use the face
Yeah.
mask when you're young. And
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's start asking questions. You ask questions and I'll try to answer. Daniel.
I was wondering if you could just kind of briefly review the pH buffering in the body and, you know, maybe go over a lot of the common ideas out there that the blood pH is supposed to be at 7.4 or something like that, and your saliva is usually around 6.5, and your urine can change based on what you're dumping, and then maybe a quick review of the buffer system, because a lot of people are drinking the alkaline water, but the body, if you get too basic, it's going to buffer. Can you maybe review how that buffer system works? And
Well, the body's always trying to balance itself. Now, there's a belief out there in the alternative community that we want, about 7 point, anywhere from 6.7 to 7.2 blood alkalinity, acid to alkalinity ratio. However, in native tribes, it's anywhere from 5.2 to 5.8. Mine has been 5.5 for however long I can remember. And my blood, my urine, my saliva are all around 5.5. If you're alkaline, you're in trouble. The whole system works on an acidic basis. Most of our digestive juices, 90 to 95% of our digestive juices are acid. Hydrochloric acid is 100% acidic. There's no alkalinity to it. It's about a 5.2 to a 4.9 to a 5.2. So if it is highly alkalinized, that means it's not going to work well to break down acidic tissue quickly, like meats, cheeses, any kind of meat, no matter if it's fish, fowl, or four-legged animals, red meat. It will not break down and dissolve properly. And you only have 20%, 10 to 20% of your digestive acids are part of digestion. 80 to 90% is supposed to be bacterial. So your digestive acids are to break the larger particles of food into smaller particles so the bacteria can infiltrate it and eat it. Their byproducts are their waste is our food. So we're really piss and shit eaters. Technically, that's what we are. So that's 80 to 90% of digestion. If it goes into alkalinity, like a cow or a horse or any herbivore, you're going to be a vegetarian, and you're not going to live healthfully and well. So that is a whole fallacy that, a lot of the so-called early alternative thinkers in nutrition, they came up with this stupid idea. Walker and Fry and all of them came up with that ridiculous tale. No evidence, no scientific evidence to prove it. They didn't test the saliva and the amount of bacteria that's necessary in the saliva to have proper digestion. And in healthy human beings, they have more bacteria in the mouth than a dog and a cat do. And dogs and cats do. So we are supposed to be thriving with bacteria. This is where the digestion starts in the mouth. We don't have I have hydrochloric in the mouth because they severed my vagus nerve, and that's what caused me a lot of tooth problems once I regenerated from the radiation therapy. But most people do not have a high hydrochloric acid content in their mouth. It's other acids. And you only have one small amount of ptyalin enzyme, which is the only alkalinizing enzyme in your mouth. And only the horse has that. And the horse uses a profuse amount of it. We seem to develop it after being a grain eater for thousands of years, because none of the tribes that have stuck with the native diet have traces of ptyalin in their mouths. So basically, we should be an acidic body from top to bottom. There should be in the 6.77, alkaline acidic ratio.
So it's not true then that cancer cannot grow in an alkaline body.
That's all bullshit. I've seen thousands of people with that. I mean, literally thousands at these clinics that feed them only vegetable juice.
Right.
And I've watched them drop off dead and left and right dead, even though they have that alkalinity. So it was a hypothesis that somebody, what was his name, put it out there.
Gerson?
Walker and Gerson. No, Gerson was into your raw liver. That was the main thing, raw liver. You can't get alkaline with raw liver. Raw liver is 90% protein. You have very little fat in the liver. It's like the heart. There's nothing that's, those two organs, the heart and the liver, are basically your major protein bodies in the system. And they're highly acidic. So Gerson, when he was around, Max, when he was around, then 60% of his diet was raw liver. Now that his daughter's taken it over, she's removed the liver, and these people are dying just like every other vegetarian regime.
So it's a consequence of being too acidic that your body will want to buffer that system and make it. I mean, if you're too alkaline, your body's going to want to make it acidic. Does that mean it's going to be dumping positive ions into the blood, like the minerals from your bones, and then
Oh yeah, it's going to take it from everywhere it can. Like people who
contributing to osteoporosis then by being
yes,
too alkaline.
absolutely. Yeah, it definitely will. That's why so many vegetarians and fruitarians have bone degeneration.
So doesn't the body leach calcium from the bones to alkalize the blood?
Pardon?
Isn't the calcium leached from the bones to alkalize the blood?
No, it's to bind with
Does the body
toxins.
do that?
It's to neutralize. Let's say you have something cooked, and in it you've got acidic compounds which are free radical, mercury, lead, cadmiums, any of those toxic metals. The body will use the calcium to neutralize those because they're free radical acid minerals, not because they're in proper ionic bond and proportion, like in a raw diet. Very different.
Calcium is an alkaline mineral, though, correct?
Calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium are the ones that we mainly use to neutralize free radical acids.
They need an acidic environment to be properly used.
Pardon?
Calcium, they need an acidic environment.
No, if you didn't have calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and potassium, we wouldn't be alive. But our ratio needs to be right around 5.5, 5.7. Not 7, not 6.7. That's an herbivore. Become a cow next life, if you want that.
When I have a cold, I've been told to have a glass of 8 ounces of water and put half a teaspoon of baking soda in there to alkaline instead of keeping it acid. But baking soda is an acid. How can it alkaline your body? That's
You got me.
strange.
You got me.
Is that a good thing? What
No,
they say?
baking soda is a very nasty thing. Yeah. It acts like, ascorbic acid. It will leach fats out of the blood. So yeah, you'll reduce your symptoms, but you won't get well.
What about apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar is very helpful. A lot of the amino acids that you use in chelation therapy are in the apple cider vinegar. So if you want a chelation therapy, take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar a day. So the body will leach calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and potassium out of your bones to help neutralize over acidity from cooked foods or poison, but not from raw foods. You'll never have over acidity from it. And when you've been on long enough and healthy. Right now, I'm down to, when I do it, one juice a day. I haven't had a juice for 3 weeks. I don't have to worry about that over acidity anymore very often. When I get into the tropics, I do more because I perspire more. So I will drink more vegetable juice when I'm in the tropics.
So would one on a cooked diet rather be acidic? Or would
There'll
one
be
on a
a
cooked
tox-
diet better rather
Toxic, it
better
depends.
off
If they're a
slightly
vegetarian, they're going to be highly alkaline and toxic.
Right. But on a cooked diet, would one rather
Cooked,
be slightly alkaline?
Sad American diet, standard American diet, the sad diet?
Yeah, the
Right.
sad
The
diet.
sad diet,
Slightly
yes.
alkaline.
The sad diet, they're going to be overly acidic if they don't.
Right, so are they better off being slightly alkaline?
Well, they're eating enough alkaline foods to promote. You'll never be alkaline without pouring vegetable and fruit juices into yourself. That's why these clinics have you drinking like a gallon and a half, 2 gallons of vegetable and fruit juices daily, because you cannot get alkaline. The body will resist it, and finally, when you do, it's broken down and exhausted.
How do you
People
check?
don't get well easily.
How do you check to see what your pH is? How do you know?
Well, I know because I use one of those strips, and also I had medical doctors, once in a while, like at St. Louis, in St. Louis, the Washington University Medical Center did a rundown on people who were raw fooders, and I was one of the test subjects, and I was the healthiest one that they'd known, but I was only one of 3 people who were not vegetarian raw fooders. So I outperformed in all of them, everywhere. And this was a cardiac doctor, famous cardiac doctor for athletes. You're talking about big time athletes, who make profession, basketball teams, football teams, and stuff like that. He's the doctor for most of those big full-time stars when it comes to cardiac therapy and analysis. And on one of the floors of the hospital, they have a track and all kinds of workout equipment, pumping iron, and they took me. They did all the blood tests with me because I told them I was eating at least a stick of butter a day, and lots of meat. Oh, cholesterol galore, and this is a heart doctor, So, he said, "I'll pay your way here. I'll pay everything. Come." So I went there on my way to St. Louis to do a workshop in St. Louis for Jeff and the people there in St. Louis. So I spent a day there through the tests. They only found a little bit of blockage here, a little bit of taking in this artery, but that was since I was a little kid. I started using, since I found it was still there, I started using vinegar to help break it down. So it's probably broken down by now, because this was like 6 years ago, that I did that test. And after all the tests, the doctor was so amazed at my condition and the blood results, everything. I mean, they gave me a glucose tolerance. That's the first time I had sugar since 1974, so I was like this. Gave me high blood pressure, everything. But still, the test results came out phenomenal. So he said, "Can we do some more tests on you?" He signed these waivers. So it was just athletic stuff. So he took me. I ran around the track about 7 times, which is about a quarter of a mile, without stopping, without resting. And my heartbeat went to normal within 90 seconds. He said he had never seen that before. and then they put me on pumping iron. And I said, I don't exercise. I've exercised since 1979. So he said, okay, we'll take it easy on you. Then he took it too easy, start up 20 pounds weight, 20 pounds each time going up. And then when he got to high, there was 10 pounds increase at a time. I said, would you come on with this? I'm going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger just in the end of the day. So we got up to, I got 240 pounds with the leg presses. And when he saw me even slightly strained, he stopped me. He didn't want to have a heart attack. So 240 pounds there. Got up to 195 before I started straining on the bench press. Stopped me right there, and I could have done it. Probably gone up to about 230, 210, 230. But he stopped, and he said, I've never seen anything like this before. We have people who work out here 3 days a week, and they can't do what you do.
What did he do with that information?
Pardon?
I wonder what he did with that information.
He's probably coaching under the, doing what the Austrians do, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Raw eggs, raw milk, raw meats. So, probably what he's doing with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Feeding
too
his
bad he
own.
can't be out there.
Yeah. No, he's not going to be out there against anybody, but he's going to have his secrets with his athletes. And he'll make more money out of it.
Yeah.
It's usually their intention. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, when he workshops, you said a woman who has a cesarean has to stay overweight for about 18 years?
It can be that long. Depends on how young they are when they get started. I had one woman who was probably went on the diet when she was about 27, and she had a cesarean, and it took her about 12 years. But anybody in their 30s and up, it usually takes about 17 to 18 years.
So about 40?
Pardon?
What if she's about 40?
Probably about the same,
And why
17, 18 years.
Why is it that they have to be overweight much longer?
Because when you cut into the body and you block circulation, it blocks normal lymphatic flow, everything. So everything has to be side, like here. I pushed through an aquarium when I was 16 years old, and I pushed on an aquarium to move it. And you're supposed to lift it, move it. I pushed it and went right through it. And it slid me. So you got a fish hook here and a little fish here.
Wow.
So it just cut me open and cut all the arteries and veins here. I mean, I was gushing. I was hitting probably that black wooden chair there with every beat of my heart. So had to put pressure on it. But if you see, I have no veins that go down this area. Here you see I have all of them that normally flow straight down. Here all of them had to bypass this area. All of them went around the cut to regrow. See?
So the woman, after she's gone through that years, will her lymphatic system be rebuilt and back to normal?
It'll still be different, but it's harder to unblock. And usually during that, when you have a cesarean, you have methylate and mercurochrome administered, or iodine, these are poisons, in those incisions. That poisons the area. Of course, you need more fats to deal with all that poisoning that's stuck in the tissues there. So you need that extra fat there to bind with it and pull it out of the tissues. So it can become normal. This scar right here was this big and this high in spots. And it turned cancerous after the incision. But I still have a few knots right here.
Yeah.
From the iodine, the mercury that was used as an antiseptic during surgery. Right here I still have 3 knots, little elevated scars. That every time I start, this will turn a little inflamed and I'll start getting heavily nauseous and maybe have little breakouts all around in this area. It happens now about every 2.5 to 3 years that I go through it, and I taste the chemotherapy and I taste the metal in my mouth when I'm detoxing. And when I go through that, I've always gained a lot of weight. Otherwise, it won't do it.
So
I
what
taste
conditions
shrimp.
would manifest from if a woman had a cesarean and didn't gain the weight? And
She probably wouldn't detox it. She'd
I
just
mean,
die
what
younger.
would end up?
She could get cancer, or many things that could
The
happen
amount
in
of
that area.
cesareans in this country is.
Oh, cesareans are a big issue because doctors don't want to wait around anymore. And it's all about them waiting around. That's all it's about. Yeah. 99% of the cesareans are because the doctor does not want to wait. And they make up stories. And they lie. You know, we had to do cesarean because. It's a lie. Absolute lie.
It's easier for them.
Pardon?
It's just easier for them.
Of course, it's convenient. They make more money. They don't have to sit around and wait for a hospital. Wait for some dumb woman to have her dumb kid. You know, that's basically...
Another number.
Think about it. If you're that callous to cut somebody up and butcher them and decrease their life of value, you know, and their joy of life and sexuality, it changes everything. So, you know, think about the man who can do that.
Or they'll,
What kind of conscience does he have?
or they'll give you the
woman, yeah.
drip where they may bring on induced labor, it's called. That's what I have.
Yeah, but that still takes time.
But
It's easier not
probably
to.
not a good thing either.
Oh, no, it isn't. You know, it's basically they're using LSD
I couldn't.
to do that.
It really brings it on.
Yep. You get a trip while you're doing it.
Well, yeah. I was getting very
Uh-huh.
Question. What am I saying? Really very
Yep.
personal thing.
Yep. Yeah, drugs take over. Okay, do you have Daniel? I took you. Do you have a question? You.
Oh, I don't think so. Not right now.
Jeff, do you have a question?
Oh, come on. Yeah.
I probably do on the spot.
Couple things you mentioned earlier. You were telling the malaria story, and you made the coconut water, lemon, and honey concoction. That made me think of a question. Then you mentioned the A1, A2 thing on the milk, so that was the question. While you were telling your malaria story, Stacy had told me when she was in the Philippines several years ago, they were telling her if you get,
It was
we'll
in
say
Thailand.
Thailand, but same. This is just to further illustrate
ridiculous
the
it is.
ridiculousness of these malaria mosquito bite stories. So take it away.
They said if you got bitten by a mosquito during the daytime, you would get malaria. If you got bitten by a mosquito at night, you would get dengue fever.
Same mosquito. If he
And
bites
my
you at 2,
friend-
it's malaria. If he bites you at 8, it's dengue
And just
fever.
think about it. What do mosquitoes eat? They eat nectar. They pollinate the tiny little flowers that bees can't hold on. You know, it's tiny little flowers. A bee got on it, it would crush the flower, the whole plant, like tiny little micro clover and stuff like that. That's what mosquitoes do. They pollinate tiny little flowers.
And my friends that took the malaria medication.
They don't eat shit, so how are you going to get dengue fever? Hello?
They
Just
were
take
ready to
common
kill each
sense.
other out of paranoia.
Yeah.
They were like delusional on the medication.
Yeah. And what happened 3 years ago with that English boy? He came over, took the malaria every day. He got malaria and died. Famous British citizen. So it went all over the place. And it's documented in his diary how he took the medication every day. Died of malaria. So it's all horseshit.
So then what? So the concoction, the coconut water, lemon, honey,
Lime.
Protein doesn't help.
I was just going to say, you'd mentioned a protein deficiency. That certainly is not a protein-rich concoction. What's going on during a detox? Well, I guess the so-called malaria that they're calling it is a detox of what? What are these people detoxing? Just
Highly acidic proteins.
like their cooked meats, you mean? Or?
Yeah, like their cooked meats. They also use a lot of spices, a lot of hot spices.
Uh-huh.
And when you're low in protein and you're doing that, you cause internal burning all over the place.
Okay.
And when you're detoxing that much at one time, it's a huge detoxification. It's worse than pneumonia
Okay.
because pneumonia, you're not usually passing out and delirious.
Okay.
Most people aren't. But when you're going through malaria, you're delirious. Everything's going crazy.
Okay, so it's just a crazy detox. Obviously
Yeah,
not
it's
brought on by
extreme
by-
detox, yes.
Extreme detox brought on by a climate, though. You don't see malaria in dry climates, really.
No, it's because you detox better in a hot climate.
Right. So if those people were eating the way you eat, there wouldn't be any.
Yeah, and also you got higher fevers in a tropical environment. So your fever is going to get higher, and you're going to have more symptoms of delirium.
Okay.
So the coconut water and that cools the system? Or
Well, what it basically does is help the body alkalinize the over-acidity from the deteriorating tissue. When you eat a lot of hot, spicy food, it causes over-acidity, and not a good acidity, an abrasive acidity.
Like so many things, it comes down to quality, not quantity. So when you just talk acid and alkaline, your raw liver, you said, is acidic. Red
Yeah.
meat's acidic. But those are like quality.
Yeah, and the acids are proper balance.
Right.
If you cook it, then it becomes overly acidic.
And imbalanced.
Imbalances.
Right. So.
Well, when you cook anything, phosphorus is destroyed and altered as little as 98 degrees. That's why they can tell whether something is pasteurized or not. If the phosphorus is cauterized, they say it's been pasteurized. And you can pasteurize at 121 degrees and see that the phosphorus is cauterized. Normal pasteurization temperature is 141. Usually potassium starts cauterizing about 170. And that means it's really not usable. Calcium becomes cauterized, 50% of it in milk, and pasteurized milk is destroyed. It's already cauterized. So it's unutilizable. So when you cook something, it breaks down and destroys the alkalinity, so there's no balance. And the acidity, the acid minerals, they have a tolerance, a labile point that can be hundreds of degrees.
So then, the other question I'd ask you, you briefly alluded to that whole A1, A2 thing, and I've read stuff about that. I almost kind of chalk that up as you might say, more laboratory kind of theory and all that. I mean,
Well, so did I until I started drinking that milk from an A2 cow and the Holstein, and I noticed that it made me slight nauseous. I didn't have as much energy. It certainly tasted good, and I felt better with it than without it. Being in Asia for a long time, I ran out of butter, and I was about 3 weeks out of butter, and I was hungry, and the coconut cream is just not an animal fat, and I would eat tons of fish. I could eat 3 pounds of fish a day and still not get enough fat for me because of all the stuff I've been through. My body, particular body, needs a tremendous amount of fat. So, because other Polynesians, Asians on the Philippine Islands live just on fish, and they don't eat a lot of it, maybe a pound a day, and they're built and they're stocky. But I just can't survive on it. I have to go find big fat strips of meat hanging, and I'll buy a whole 5 pounds of it, and I'll eat 2 pounds a day, if I don't have my butter. If I have my butter, I can have a stick a day, a half a stick a day, and do okay. But when I don't, I have to have a tremendous amount of fat. But when I had that milk, it wasn't quite nourishing. It didn't take care of it like the A1 milk does. And it was repeated. I did it 3 times with the same milk from the same cows, the Holsteins from New Zealand. And it was that way each time. And as soon as I went to a place with Jerseys or other, A1 cows, perfectly fine.
even in that climate, you mean?
Even in that climate.
Okay, I was just going to say, you think it was just more of the climate, like what you were talking about earlier with how it's sort of naturally homogenized and all that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, there's plenty of Holstein cows in the States that people have consumed raw milk on and gotten their, improved their health. And
Right, definitely. But it doesn't, I can tell that isn't as good.
Do you think it's just simply the Jersey cow is so much richer and fattier, and that's kind of where it,
I think that's probably it.
more so than the whole A1, A2 micromanagement, just the Jersey cow's really fat milk and the Holstein's lean?
No, I've had Holstein milk before,
Okay.
but not in that climate.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But it could have to do with the microbes too, but I don't know.
Are there goats over there? And
Lots of
you
goats.
prefer cows?
But I don't do well with goat's milk. I get hyperactive and overly sexual. So,
Because it's a more energetic animal.
yeah,
And
yeah. You ever seen a skinny, calm goat?
you need that.
So, I don't need those adrenaline precursors. If I were an athlete or somebody who enjoyed being physical, then it would be fine. But I can't. I want to do things instead of being mentally focused, and I'm a mentally focused individual. Do you have a question?
I just need some clarification on a couple of things you told me to eat. The oysters, you said 3 a day. Is that just for 30 days, and then do you just stop, or?
No, you can do it longer than that, but I'm saying it's probably going to take at least 30 days.
And same for Alicia, too.
Pardon?
And same for Alicia?
Probably hers will be okay in 30 days.
Okay.
She just has a spot of it here in her brain. You've got this iodine all over. The only place you don't have much is in this area right here. This area here, and a little in the right side of your back. Otherwise, you're just coated with iodine everywhere.
And the
Okay.
oysters will get rid of that, huh?
Oysters will help you rid of it quicker.
And the fruit, you said have that for 30 days, the strawberries, raspberries, and watermelon. Is that like a fruit meal, and then after the 30 days,
Yes.
what do I do? Do I replace it, or just
Well,
sit there
I
a couple
want
times?
to see how you are at that time. If you have,
But you're not going to be
you
here.
have the same symptoms, you can email me.
Okay.
If you have the same symptoms, then you stay on it.
Just continue. Okay. All right. And when you go to the hot springs, you were talking about the sport the special sport formula you gave to me, but there's no pineapple before that, right? You don't take the pineapple drink if I'm going to
Well,
the hot
if you're
springs.
going to a health spa like a Glen Ivy and you're going to spend the whole day,
Right.
that, it's best to take a lot of watermelon.
Just watermelon and...
Watermelon helps
yeah.
you perspire better
Right.
than any other food.
And do you take cream with that, or...
You can? Yeah, that's what I do. I always drink, let's say if I'm going to have a round slice of watermelon that's about just thick and about this round,
Uh-huh.
and I'll eat, that'll fill me up. That's about a cup and a half of I don't eat the hard, nothing around where the seeds are, but I eat all the rind and the red from where the seeds begin down. Unless it's a really young watermelon, not sweet, then I eat the whole thing.
And you have some cream with it, you said?
Yeah, I'll
Or-
take probably 3 tablespoons of cream
Okay.
before I have
you
that
get
much.
Before you get into the hot springs?
Oh, I'll do this before I get into the springs, and then while I'm there, I'll eat a little bit of watermelon all throughout the day.
Okay.
Like every hour, I'll have a half a cup
All right.
or more,
And,
depending on how much I'm perspiring.
sometimes you can't tell because you're in there.
I know. Well, in the mud pool, it's lukewarm. It's maybe 102 degrees, 101, 100 degrees
That doesn't do
at the
too
most.
much. Yeah.
It doesn't really cause perspiration, but I just get in with the mud. And then I'll go from there, I'll clean the mud, and I leave it in the tub. I don't get out and shower it off. I leave it in that pool. So I can get it muddier, so when I go back in, it's muddy. So... In fact, when I'm the first one there, when I used to go there, I would start packing mud in that. I would start mixing it in the water while it's on me and keep getting me wet.
that guy that I saw there doing that.
Somebody else, you may have been, who knows? So I get it very muddy, and then I spend maybe an hour and a half in the mud bath, and then I would go into the hot springs.
Yeah, I don't go. I go to Warner Springs, and I like it out there a lot. The pool is sometimes 101 to 104, somewhere in the middle there. But I was interested in buying maybe a place down there or renting, and somebody mentioned that, there's a cancer cluster here. So I wanted to ask you, do you know how you find out? I tried to find some information out. There's 2 cell towers there also, and there's also a cancer cluster here in Carlsbad. So, they're saying it's either from
There's
the
cancer
water,
clusters
soil.
everywhere.
It doesn't-
Everywhere there's cancer clusters now.
And, well, once they give it away, I know, but there's like 15 kids, 5 of them died here right in Carlsbad.
You give a kid a vaccine the day he pops out, the kid's going to have a 60% chance of getting cancer before he's a teenager.
But there's too many in one place, don't you agree? If it's a power plant or they're next to a...
No, because they do a lot of experimenting. How much can they put in here? And they use them as guinea pigs.
How much can they put what? How much can they put what in the...
How much can they put in the vaccine? How much of this? How much of that? They're screwing around. The military does it. Our government does it. They go to a certain area and they'll experiment with them.
Yeah, but we got...
They did it with 1 million people in Mississippi.
Well, I believe that. I believe
they
that.
destroyed
They did that with the
1 million
retarded
people.
kids in New York. They used them as guinea pigs.
And they're doing it all the time.
But, so you're saying if you live next to a power plant or if you live next to, well, the military...
If you're living next to a power plant, you're creating a higher risk, of course.
Right.
If you live near a power tower, you're going to take a risk.
I know, and now these damn cell tower things, they're everywhere.
Everywhere,
they're popping up more and more. I mean,
I know.
you cannot go down, 94 or here. They're everywhere, and I don't know, a lot of people are saying that, the frequencies are just too much for our bodies to...
They are. If you're not healthy, yeah, they are.
Okay.
So you have to go on the raw food diet to get help.
Yep, exactly.
Just to sustain, because
I
we're
think
already
just,
so damn toxic.
Yeah, we're already toxic, definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Alicia, she's young still, but she's coming from what she came from.
Toxic
She's
background.
I know, but relatively fairly good, and she still has a lot of shit in her system.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question, Michael?
I think my doctor's concerned about a elevated homocysteine level.
Homocysteine?
Homocysteine level, and
That's some more drug selling. You have homocysteines are created to take care of toxins. So it shows that you have a high toxic level. Whenever you have an allergy to something, something can harm something in the body. Your body will build homocysteines to resist and handle it. That's a good thing. It's like bacteria's, a janitor. That's a kind of a janitor. So it shows, yes, you have toxins in your body that are moving, and your body's building a lot of homocysteine to deal with that, so you don't get sick. And so you remove it properly. It is a sign that you've got a problem, but not a problem to lower it, and that's what they do. Just remember, the doctors don't make money if you're well.
so ignore it.
Ignore it, completely ignore it. After chemotherapy, my homocysteine level was off the chart.
The body's trying to...
And my nutritionist said, ignore it. It's your body working as an allergy to something in the body. And it is not the raw food, it is something already in the body that's toxic.
What is homocysteine?
Homocysteine is a protein, a hormonal protein substance that helps bind with certain kinds of toxins.
Because I know, I read an article about people or men who have, say, irregular heartbeat and stuff like that should have homocysteine tests. But I don't know if it should be high or low,
Well, they're looking for a low homocysteine.
which is supposed to be...
If you have a high homocysteine, it shows you have a lot of toxins moving through the body at a particular time. And that can cause the heartbeat to increase and be irregular. That does not mean the homocysteine is causing it. No, the toxin's causing it. The homocysteine will keep you from having a heart attack. You take the homocysteine out, and you're going to have a heart attack if that toxin is free to move on its own, and it beds in the heart. You end up with a Charlie horse.
So you have to find out how to regulate that.
No, you just leave your body alone, eat properly.
Eat properly.
Your body will always seek a proper level if you're eating properly. Unless, let's say, you drank half a cup of arsenic. All the homocysteine in the world isn't going to prevent it. You remember that guy back in the late 1800s that put out, that he's going to drink a half a cup of arsenic, and he publicized it what was it, 6 to 12 months ahead of time, all over the world. So they had reporters from London, everywhere, go to where this guy, I mean, Paris, Brussels, everywhere in the world, they went to see this guy, and he said, I am not going to choose the poison. Let a university doctor, bring the arsenic, half a cup of arsenic, and I will drink it in front of everybody, and I'll show you that I live. So he got people all the way, he made a fortune off of it, and he drank a half a cup of arsenic. And until he died in the 1930s, he did not tell anybody how he did it. And on his deathbed, he said, I drank a half a cup of clay an hour before. And the arsenic went in, the clay absorbed it just like that.
Wow.
So you have a high histamine, eat some clay. Let the clay help you. So your body doesn't have to make the homocysteines so much.
So what do you think of those basic tests that they tell you, like Dr. Oz and everybody on TV says, go ahead and get, like C-reactive protein as far as inflammation in your body.
What do they sell?
What are they selling? I don't know what he's selling.
They're selling something, that's what it's all about.
You test for money.
He's an MD,
Yeah.
so he's one of the good ones. You know what I'm saying?
They think that
No,
it's
he
the
thinks
right
he's a
thing.
good guy.
I saw Dr. Oz
No?
pushing the flu vaccine.
Oh, well, I know that. Yeah, I know. He's not all
He's
there.
a
Yeah.
gatekeeper. He's got a big show.
To me, they don't know better.
He's
They don't know.
Oh, they know.
medically
They
trained.
know?
Oh, they know. When you've been a doctor for 10 years,
But they're not.
you know what's happening to your
He's a
patient.
cardiologist.
It doesn't make any difference. When you see people getting worse instead of better every time you treat them, that's a bad sign. That's why now they don't make you swear in the Bible or anything when they take the Hippocratic Oath.
Oh, wow.
You just stand
They
there and you
think
take it. No raising of the hand or anything. You just repeat it. And that's it. Say it aloud. There's no swearing. I mentioned that to a doctor. He said, well, I didn't swear on it. If I swore on that, I couldn't use any medication, any medicine. The guy admitted it. So they know what they're doing. If they're 10 years into the business, they know what they're doing. And that includes their, once they get out of pre-med, their internship in a hospital, they pretty much know that they're the bad guys.
And that's why people like Dr. Weil go away from that.
Absolutely. But they still carry all that fear and training with them. They don't get out of it.
Yeah. They're
They
still
don't
heavily
trust the
programmed.
body. They've got to do something to help the body. And they don't know they're asking a hole in the ground.
Deepak Chopra, is he a doctor?
No, yeah, he's an MD.
And he's kind of more away from the
Well, he's into, he's still into antibiotics, but he's more into prayer.
yeah.
Not doing something about it more favorable. He's into mind over matter
Right, yeah.
more. So, you have a question? Yes,
I'm
no?
not sure yet.
Okay.
But thank you.
Do you have a question?
What more could I take to help brain function? Working on the computer thing, and
You got a flat screen?
yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. But even so, I still find myself, trying to reduce my time in front of the thing.
Well, do you have a tower or do you have a laptop?
No, I have a laptop.
Pardon?
I have a laptop.
Do you have a separate keyboard?
No.
Okay. The EMF, you take an EMF meter and you put it over your computer, what model do you have?
I have a MacBook Pro.
You have a Mac Pro?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're putting off right around 170 milligauss of electromagnetic field. That going up your hand into your brain all day long is going to dull your brain. So you need a separate keyboard, and you keep the computer 9 to 10 inches away. The bottom of the computer has to be 9 to 10 inches away from the top of the keyboard to not be in that field. When I first got a keyboard, first got a laptop, I moved into a new house, not a new house, but a house at the same time. And I started having all of my bone problems that when I had leukemia and bone cancer, multiple myeloma, and I thought I was getting it back. And when I went away on a trip, all of it went away, and I didn't take my computer with me. And I still thought maybe it was the house. I didn't know what it was, and I still didn't put it together. Called in an environmental specialist to check for radon, anything in the house. Only thing he found was a high EMF field coming off of my laptop computer. He said, get a separate keyboard. Got a separate keyboard. I mean, I went out that day. I didn't let him out of the house. I made him sell me his equipment. So I never had to call another guy again because I'd be testing everything after that. So I did. It took me an hour to talk him out of his equipment because that'd be another week before he could get them made and stuff. So anyway, I got them. And I got the separate keyboard, and sure enough, all the pain went right away within 24 hours.
Okay, cool.
So that's probably a lot of it, but if you want to stimulate your brain,
I was going to say, besides the blueberries and cream, what else can I eat?
asparagus tips and juice the stalks. You need about 2 to 3 inches of the asparagus tip, and then juice the rest of the stalk. Now your pea's going to smell very strange, but disregard that. Now what a lot of people do in India to increase brain function is they'll eat the asparagus like that and juice it, and then drink their urine after they have some kind of milk. When they urinate after they have milk. We can do it after meat or anything like that. And those particular proteins recycle that are more that do the particular union that stimulates the brain. So you may get let's say from eating the asparagus and asparagus juice, you'll probably get a 20%, 18 to 20%, 15 to 20% increase in brain alertness, focus. However, if you drink your urine one time, about 6 hours following having the asparagus, as long as you've eaten a meat meal or had some milk or eggs, then you will increase it like 20% to 27% brain function. So, if you're really looking to stimulate, the
How
brain.
much you have to drink?
Well, it depends on how much you urinate. Probably when I've experimented with it, half a cup was enough. 3/4 of a cup didn't change it much, just a little bit. Cup didn't change anything from 3/4 of a cup. So half a cup to 3/4 of a cup.
But when the laptop is shut off, is it still giving you that EMF that if it's shut when you
No,
shut down?
it's not on. It's
Oh,
no.
then it's, okay.
What about wireless systems? You have wireless net,
Wireless.
access.
Oh,
and
very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely, if you have a laptop, you
The
want to keep
router.
that laptop, like when I use it, and I'll go to a hotel and that's all that I have. My laptop's here and I'm over here. I have good vision, long sight vision, so I can read that far. But I've got it 3 feet from me.
Are we talking about routers?
Yeah, routers, the same thing, yeah. Routers, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Wireless,
Wi-Fi.
yes.
You mentioned the mouse also?
The mouse, it has to be a rollerball, and the only company that makes a rollerball mouse is Bell. The infrared, 75 milligauss minimum in your hand. I got with my laptop that I got 3 years ago. My Ferrari's Acer had a mouse to match everything with the Ferrari emblem on it, so it looked really black and red, really neat looking. And I used that for about 3 hours, and my arm and hand were aching. I'm really sensitive because of all the radiation therapy that I had. And I couldn't believe it. Here's, you've got an infrared, and it's got a high electromagnetic field. It didn't make any sense at all, but it was high. So I got my old rollerball out. Next day, no problem.
Do they still sell them? Dell?
Yeah, Dell is the only one that makes them themselves.
Dell or
Dell.
Oh.
D-E-L-L.
And they have the mouse?
They have the rollerball mouse.
Okay.
Well, then with the Mac, you need an adapter for the mouse. because it's a USB,
Uh-huh.
a different connection to a PC mouse. You need a separate adapter to use a little automatic.
You're going to have to find an adapter.
I have those.
Good. Okay, do you have a question?
I do. A couple things. Stiffness, like in my joints, and then my legs
Uh-huh.
getting like stiff. I've never had that before. So
Called aging.
smoothies, lactic acid, hot baths.
Those are toxins building up in the joints for so many years, and that's what happens. That's what, when they mean you're aging, you're building up toxins over the years. And there's lots of things that live in the joints because, especially as thin as you were when I met you, I mean, you were thin,
Yeah, I was.
your body seeks the place where there's fat. That's the brain and the bone marrow. It's the only place where there's heavy fat. So your bone marrow gets filled with all these poisons. When it discards, where does it leave? The joints. All the joints cause arthritis and rheumatism. Also, if you had a digestive problems like Crohn's disease and you had leaky gut, those particles of food go to the joints and the body builds acids there to become a digestive tract and starts eating the joints away. That's what arthritis and rheumatism. 90% arthritis and rheumatism comes from leaky gut.
So more smoothies, hot baths.
Not
both?
more baths, heat at night, hot water bottles on
Hot
the
water
joints
bottles?
to help
Okay.
more circulation in those areas to
Hot
clean
water
it.
bottles. Okay.
More nutrients in an area means more detoxification and more healing.
Okay. And
Clay is helpful.
Clay.
Usually a lot of metals because when you
clay.
get a vaccine, probably in most people, 70% of it will go to the stomach lining and 30% will go to the bone marrow.
So clay,
Or
like
you put it on the skin.
Eat it.
just
About
clay
how much?
in milk.
How much?
Put some clay
Yeah.
in some milk.
You make this soft, like I said in the recipe book. You make the moist clay. Use like 3/4 of a cup of clay and 3/4 of a cup of water. So you've got a cup and a half made. Let it sit for 4 to 5 days to get everything, the bacteria and the microorganisms going. Clay is the only shapeshifter that we know. The organisms in it are shapeshifters, just like stem cells. They can take on the makeup of whoever the body wants them to make up. So clay is the only substance we eat that does that besides bone marrow. Clay and bone marrow. But the clay is not really digestible. It helps you digest. It helps bring soil bacteria in. But it draws out poisons galore.
Okay.
So it adds nutrients to your blood, your lymph, your neurological fluids to help you pull out these toxins out of the body.
Then you have to
So you
eliminate.
take like a tablespoon of that soft liquid
a
clay,
tablespoon.
and then you put it into 2 to 4 ounces of milk. You can blend it or stir it. Tastes a little like chocolate milk if you're using Terramin clay, and you drink that. And if you don't like the gritty taste in your mouth, you can follow it with a swallow of milk and flush it in your mouth so you don't have all that grittiness in there.
Yeah, pick up the
So I
Terramin
tried
clay
a
in
quarter of a
person.
teaspoon in some milk to dissolve, and it wouldn't
They're in
dissolve.
Baldwin Hills.
Just stirring it with a spoon.
You're taking it dry.
No.
It was wet,
I buy it.
moist, and
Moist.
you need to blend it.
Come on,
Yeah.
God.
Could you just
1
pour-
second.
Just like real quick in the
No,
spoon and
you
then
need to
follow
mix
it
it
with milk?
around
Really?
because if it gets into the blood, you want a lot of calcium and phosphorus and magnesium and potassium with it to bind with the poisons.
But can you just maybe swallow your milk real fast
I
after
bathe in
you eat
it
a
as well as
teaspoon or
eating
half a
it.
teaspoon of it? No?
If you
Won't
can't
mix
mix it here, what makes you think it's going to mix in the
Okay,
stomach?
so blend.
For a bath. Yeah.
You need to disperse it. Otherwise, it's just going to... Yeah, the reason I don't like it is a lot of people in autopsies and people
Yeah,
with clay, I've seen
you let it
clay
settle.
impactation,
That's a trick.
Oh.
You
You
should
know,
let it settle.
places where it
Go
dried
after
up
with a
into
brush
their
and a-
intestine
and a
and just
dustpan
stayed
and-
there.
dump it in.
stayed there. That meant that
They
whole
say that it
area of
will
that intestine
clog
didn't
the
function.
pipes, but
So you don't recommend using clay regularly? Is that what you're...
Yes,
But
but I'm
then
saying
dump
you
it out in the
blend it
bushes.
with milk.
Okay, that way
Mix it in a fluid so it thins
so it
it.
doesn't clump.
Right,
Okay.
so it doesn't clump.
Okay.
Does it matter if the milk is cold?
Of course,
We always
got to be
get
room
ice
temperature.
hard.
Plus, Aajonus, like getting something underneath my armpits, and I think it's Morgellons. It's like, it gets like a rash, and it's very itchy, and it's
Are there
just weird.
fibers in it?
It's just weird. I haven't noticed any kind of fibers.
Then it's not Morgellons. It's,
No.
No. You just got to, just remember, 90% of toxins leave through the skin. You're always going to get eruptions anytime you're detoxifying.
And even if it's really itchy, huh?
Itchy just means that the poison is so toxic that it's robbed the fats out of the surrounding cells. So they're drying up, and that's the itch.
Okay.
So you put the Primal Facial Body Care Cream on, or some bone marrow, or butter.
Okay. Okay.
To thin the cells. Make sure the cells have enough fat to be pulled from when the toxin comes through. Because if there's not enough fat, and the only fat that that cell has is inside of itself, if it gives it up, it's going to dry out, just like you would.
But there's no cure for Morgellons or Morgellons, whatever.
Well, clay helps.
It helps, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really cure.
Well, I got it from these 3 injections, so I had fibers and little insects coming out my skin like crazy.
When do they come out? When would you see those?
It was about probably a week after I got injected.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you explain the
Oh, wow.
Margellon?
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Margellon, what do you
Scary.
It's a condition where the body's detoxing through the skin, fibers with insects attached. Now, the military has been using this as a war tool since about the late 1950s. They put like fly eggs and they embed them in these fibers. So they go around spraying them in the air. They disperse them somehow in the air. It's mostly from aerial spraying. And people inhale these. The fiber gets absorbed into the tissue. The egg hatches. So you've got a live fly, that's a tiny little microscopic fly, living on. And it, for some reason, its like legs are entwined in the fibers and it can't get loose. So it does tremendous damage as it comes to the skin. So, all of these scars that you see on here, all of these were from that occurrence. And I've got some big ones. These here, like bullet holes.
You can see,
These here.
actually see them?
Oh, actually see all of them? Yeah, definitely. Look at them under a microscope. There are lots of them from those 3 injections.
Like a scab. Like a scab.
Yeah, well, it doesn't come out like a scab at first. It comes out like a very inflamed sore.
So now you're completely over it?
Yeah, I don't have it. Well, I'll get a breakout maybe once every 2 months. They'll start coming out. You can see all these. I had thousands of them all over my body, so I've got all these tiny little scars. At first they weren't tiny. They were big like this one. But this was, see this size right here?
Yeah.
This was 5 times bigger than that a year ago
Wow.
when it came out. This little one here was 5 times that size last year.
Wow.
So they're shrinking little by little. These over here were even larger.
So just your diet alone
Took care of it.
is just
Yeah, right.
doing it.
Of course, I ate more clay than I'd ever done before.
Oh, a lot of clay.
A lot of clay.
Oh, okay.
Like more than a tablespoon a day?
Yeah, sometimes I had 3 tablespoons a day. Break it up. 4 ounces of milk, tablespoon of the clay, 3 times daily.
And what else did you do, Aajonus? Because you look so much better from last time when I saw you.
I'm just eating more clay.
Just more.
Yeah,
Are
more
you-
clay.
How much are you still taking?
Pardon?
How much are you still taking?
Well, it's not consistent. I'll go when I feel my body starting to detox and I get very nauseous and I don't want to go through days of vomiting, I'll have 3 tablespoons daily,
Where does
sometimes 4.
And you do use the Terramine clay?
Yeah, always.
where does the clay come from?
It's near the Mojave Desert. It was an old aqua bed, a mineral spring, a hot mineral spring, and they mine it where it's only come out of the ground no more than 98 degrees. So all the phosphorus is intact.
And you could,
Everything's intact.
could you put it on a stove like a boil or something?
Yeah, absolutely. But put it on wet. Don't
They
put it
don't
on
sell
dry.
it in the stores, though.
You pardon?
It's what you're saying. We need to buy it through.
Yeah, I'll go online. California clay, whatever it is. So go to Terramin.com. Terramin.com. Terramin. It's probably 8 miles away. They're in the desert, off away, yeah. Somebody's just trying to, because Terramin clay is such a good clay. It's the best one I've ever experimented with and tried. People are going to Terramin more and more and more, and all these other companies are losing, so they're coming up with stories.
Is clay something that would be beneficial for anyone to be using on a regular
As long
basis?
as you grew up on the sad diet. Absolutely.
You can raise your hand to that.
Anybody here not raised on the sad diet? Whoops. Do you have a question?
Yeah, my question is that I'm experiencing a lot.
Oh, wait a minute. She's new to California. We don't answer questions for non-California. She's from Colorado. Welcome her. I'm from Colorado. I was born in Denver.
Sure. I'm experiencing a lot of like what I would call dry eye. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just really dry. And I don't know if that seems like ever since I had that diagnosis of the RA that maybe that's been sort of happening. But
See how dry your skin is on your face? That's how dry you are in your head. And that's, of course, you're going to leach fats and water from your eyes are going to be deficient.
okay, so just
The only way you can do that is you have to put lots of, like Primal Facial Body Care Cream on your face daily.
okay.
And you put honey and butter in your mouth frequently and just keep rolling it around. If you taste a toxic taste, when you're rolling around, spit it out, get rid of those poisons, put some fresh stuff in.
Okay, so honey and butter, not honey and cheese.
No, honey and cheese will dry you. Honey and butter.
All right, honey and butter and coconut cream on my face and or the other facial cream that you...
The Primal Facial Body Care Cream. Oh, and Primal Facial Body Care Cream, it's new and improved. Instead of using 1/3 cream, butter, and dairy cream, coconut cream, butter, and dairy cream, you still use those, but now you cut them down to 1/4 of the ingredients and add bone marrow. So it's 1/4 bone marrow now.
Where do you get the bone marrow?
I get it from North Star Bison. You can get a delivery when Cynthia, when you buy her, get her stuff, she gets it from Rawson in Los Angeles. So you can order it to her, or you order direct from North Star Bison, and you get it popped out of the bone already, half the price.
Oh, they have it without the bone?
Yeah. They'll sell it without the bone. Yeah.
You said Alicia should take that if she would?
Yeah,
How would she take that?
just eat it.
With a meat meal or just any time?
With a meat meal is always better. Before a meat meal is always better.
And how much does she have?
At least one of those bones a day.
Oh.
When I'm in town, I eat a whole package. I eat 5 to 7 bones worth a day.
What do you
So I'm eating like, about half of a cup of bone marrow. If even more, 3/4 of a cup if you press it down. So half to 3/4 of a cup of bone marrow I eat a day because I'm not in town much and I can't get it all the time. So when I'm here, I power up on it.
What's it called under this now? Just a bone? Is it bone marrow without the bone?
Yeah,
That's all they say.
bone marrow without the bone.
You mentioned before that she vaccinates the female bison. Do you have to specially...
This is the breeding ones that
When you
breed
request the
offspring.
bone marrow, do you have to make a special request not to get the...
I tell everybody that, and she shot me an email about a month ago saying, I do not sell any of the bones or any of the meat, any of the product for my breeding females. When they die, I ship them off to the dump, to the bear, which means it goes to, dog food or something like that. So it goes off for waste.
So you're
It's not for
fine,
human
organs,
consumption.
glands, anything.
Yeah,
for,
that's what she says. Yeah. Okay, do you have a question?
A lot of them. No, but anyway. Well, I have dark around here, and I thought it was from the glaucoma drops.
Uh-huh.
But the nutritionist that I talked to, he said my liver and kidneys are stressed.
Well, the darkest sign of liver. If you had puffy eyes, it would be a sign of kidney problems too. But you don't have puffy eyes. You have darkness. That shows some liver difficulties.
Do I have to be close or?
Well, of course, but I wouldn't do anything special. Just go into my book and look up liver, because there's quite a few things you can do about the liver. Also with your eyes, egg white in your eyes. Butter in your eyes also.
Butter too, huh?
Well, what you do is a little dab of either egg white or butter, and you pull the side down and you put it along the white, and then you hold both up and you roll it around like you're a circus master.
You're just moisturizing.
Yeah, and that soothes the eyes. In fact, it restores vision in a lot of circumstances.
Well, that's what I wanted. That was the other piece I wanted to ask you about vision, because I had LASIK surgery, but now I just use these for sort of reading or computer or whatever, and I'm feeling like these are 200s. I need to get something a little stronger, and it's so to help that,
Well, I used to just say egg white, and then I had a patient who had Coke bottle thick glasses, and she was determined, because I got her excited on the diet, and everything was working for her better. And she was a rich girl. I mean, this girl, $100 million when she was 20 years old, so she doesn't have to think about a thing, so she can play with anything. So she doesn't have to work, so she sits at home doing all these different things, experimenting. So she was putting butter in her eyes twice daily. Her prescription would cut in half in 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I was impressed.
Wow.
How about
Plus she was on the
glaucoma?
PD, though? Was she
On the diet, absolutely,
also?
completely, 100%.
Wow.
Would
Wow.
that help the pressure of your eye or anything like
It can
that?
help anything.
The raw certified butter.
No salt. Yeah.
But you said honey with cheese can make the toxins reabsorb, though, correct? You shouldn't have honey with cheese.
Unless it's after a meat meal and you want to absorb you want that cheese to be your mineral supplement. So after a meat meal, about 35 minutes after a meat meal, you eat cheese and honey together, twice daily, for a mineral supplement. All the other times you eat it without honey to absorb poison.
The only thing that I have found, though, is that if I eat
Hold on a
cheese...
second. So loud. Okay.
You said when you eat cheese, eat butter with it because it's constipated.
Some people, yes.
Well, to me, I found that no matter how much butter I eat with it, it's constipating. And I eat plenty of butter with it.
Well, if you're getting constipated that way, you just don't have enough fat in your bowel. Those E. coli are going to hold it up. See, because cheese is already a moldy substance, at least our cheese that we get, because it's grown in a cave. And that's the way you have a fungus that breaks down the cheese. It's like a yogurt, only a fungus instead of a bacteria is breaking down your cheese so we digest it. So the fungus breaks it down. So the E. coli can get even more nutrients from it. So it's going to hold it up there longer. It doesn't dry you out more if you're eating butter with it. However, your bowel is your E. coli in your bowel are so hungry that you need to feed it from the back end. And I told you this before. You have 3 tablespoons each of coconut cream, butter, and dairy cream. And shove it up in there and leave it there.
Yeah,
And
but that drops out, and it dropped out all over my car seat. I think I told you that. And you have to wear a diaper, really.
No,
and
you do it at night before you go to sleep.
But it doesn't come out the whole day.
I've never had it come out on anybody but you, and that's the wildest thing. But don't put half that much then. Don't put so much in. Put half of that amount in.
Fingers left.
And did you also get on your left side and roll, or did you get down, you bark? Put it in, and then after you get it in, you go down like this, and you roll your stomach. So move down your colon so it won't stay in the sigmoid area. And then you can lie like this, roll your stomach a little bit to get it move up here, and then you can roll like this and go over here to get it move over more so you can feed the E. coli everywhere. So that's what you can do to prevent it from, dumping. Because this sounds like yours is just staying in the sigmoid colon. If it's doing that, you need to work it up higher.
Are you doing that for?
Pardon?
How long would you do that for on the ground?
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Whole thing would take 3 minutes. If you really want to get all the good fat over, to the whole colon, so make sure every bit of it gets, then I would do it for about 10 minutes. Probably 3 minutes, like this, rolling the stomach, then on the left side for about 3 minutes, and the right side for about 3 minutes.
I have one question.
You got yours back there. This is our host. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you. Your questions help me. I'm just curious about, we were talking earlier with the ladies about gaining weight and losing weight. And I could be on the same amount of food on the diet, and when I was very sick, I lost rapid weight, like 3 pounds. And then when I started to feel better, I gained the weight back without really trying. Does your body just find its own balance?
Yes, that's what it wants to do. It will always
like
be.
Excess fat or lose weight? Or
Yeah, it does. I prefer you do it on its own. But in the recipe book, I said a 6-month period because a lot of people are afraid that if they gain the weight, they're never going to lose it. It's usually a 2.5-year cycle.
Yeah, because what else if they gain the weight back? That's
Yeah.
anything different, and I'm like, well,
And if
more.
most of the time people will gain the weight, keep it for 2.5 years, then their body will go through a detoxification, knock it off, and then grow it back. And I stopped putting it on heavily again. So I'm so I think it's
Yeah, but you've been on it 40 years.
no. I've been on raw meat on a daily basis since December of '82. So that's when I count that I went on a good diet. When I started eating meat twice daily on a daily basis. Before that, I was just eating meat 3 days a week. One meal. So 3 pounds of meat a week maximum. Now I eat a pound a day. And if I don't eat a pound of meat a day, I eat 50 eggs.
And you don't work out at all?
No.
You're serious with eating?
I eat up to 50 eggs.
Not a day?
Yeah.
A day?
Yeah. I've eaten up to 50 eggs a day. Yeah. Done it many times.
Now,
Let's say 100 times.
Is that for protein and mineralization? Is that why you eat so many eggs?
No, because eggs are already liquid. So there's very little digestion involved. So if I want to get strong and healthy fast, I'll eat a lot of eggs.
Wow.
And eat bone marrow along with it. Like I maybe have 3 sections of bone marrow in a day. Because eggs don't have the ability to increase cellular division like meat will. Refrigerated milk is the same way. So I eat the bone marrow with it so that I will regenerate cells fast as well as strengthening the body. Like the example I used in the recipe book, the woman with emphysema who was supposed to die that weekend.
Right.
She ate 33 eggs on Saturday, 33 on Sunday. She was out of the bed and off the machines on Monday morning. Only eggs could ever do that. So I know the value of eggs.
And they weren't organic, though, huh? You didn't mention that one with just regular eggs.
They weren't regular eggs. I told her doctor to get them, at least at a health food store. And I said, ones that are cage-free, not the organic in a cage animals. So that's what she got. They weren't the best eggs, I'm sure.
Can you get, and she got results, can you get similar results by, putting half a dozen eggs in a smoothie or a milkshake? No?
No, you can put on lots of weight that way. It takes milk 6 to 10 hours to digest. So Once you put it into the milk, it slows everything down. I make sure I digest it within 27 minutes because I will break the egg and I suck out the egg white. I dent the end without putting a hole in it, the fatter end, and then the narrow end I'll punch the hole in it and I'll hold it down like this and I'll suck it gently. Only the egg white comes out first. And then the egg white digests very rapidly because it isn't fat. You don't have to have the bile. It takes longer for the bile to work on it. We don't need any hydrochloric acid for the egg white because it's already liquid. All we need to do is the bacteria working. So I keep the egg white in my mouth until it's completely water. And I know it's full of bacteria, and then I swallow it. And then the egg yolk will last, and of course your body kind of layers things. As it goes in, it kind of layers itself, so it moves that way. So the yolk comes in behind, and the yolk will digest much faster by itself too, as well as the egg white will. So,
Is it okay to leave the umbilical cord out of that? Can you not eat that?
sure. Just good protein.
I know, I just can't
That's
get
probably
that
the
down.
only thing in it that has stem cells, and you want to get rid of it. But that's okay. I'll take them. You collect them and send them to
I'll mail them to you.
But didn't you say you get rapid weight loss from eggs?
Yes, you can.
So,
If you only eat eggs, if you eat milkshakes, no. But if you eat only eggs, you're going to get very young, and then you might get a little irritable. So, when you're only doing eggs, you're also going to feel very dehydrated.
yeah.
So you need to keep, a little bit of butter in your mouth, throwing honey butter on your lips, or just honey.
So in relationship to just to finish my question, is it better not to force the down diet and just let your body do it?
It's always better to let your body do it.
You just stay on the dairy all the time and then all of a sudden it'll lose weight, or you just choose to stop doing the
Your
dairy?
body will stop you from eating for a while and detox
If you're
heavily.
not hungry, so like not having dairy.
When you start getting nauseous and your body says, wait a minute,
That's enough.
every time you put anything into it, you'll vomit, that's when the body is saying,
So your body
nope,
pulse like
we're going to do something differently here.
Yeah, it's supposed to do. So no forced down diet.
Don't
Why did
need
you
to.
do that one.
Yeah.
Why did you used to do that down
Like I
diet?
said, that was for people who were paranoid that they'd never lose the weight.
Ah,
So if they did it for a year on and off, they could say, oh, I can lose that weight.
how they get used to it.
Yeah, and then they aren't as particular about it. Oh, I can lose that weight later. Oh, I can use that. And that's what I like, them to postpone it, let their bodies do it.
Because I see.
People are very lazy when it comes to, anything that takes stress and work. And if the body wants that fat, you're not going to get rid of it easily.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It'll just
Yeah,
if you're not
it's
eating
true.
it.
Yep. It's not going to let
if
you.
you work
You
out?
have to work it. You have to work out. You have to limit what you eat. You have to do like in the book, in the recipe book, I have a weight loss program.
Yeah, I read
So they're eating frequently but small amounts. So, and that's the only way you can get the body to agree to it.
See, I'm getting it right here.
And that's where you need it.
Ugh.
Where do a lot of the toxins go?
So what is
Testicles.
what makes you hold the fat? Is there, because regular nutrition says, oh, more insulin, factor, and all this stuff. But
That's all their
calories,
bullshit to
what
get you to
actually-
take supplements.
Right. So what actually signals your body to hold the fat?
Your body is holding fats everywhere in the body because you have toxins in all the tissues, all the cells. The body wants to draw those poisons out, or if they're moving out on their own, you have the fat there to arrest it right away. It won't do any damage.
It's holding it from fat or from calories? Is the fat from actually just fat from eating, or is it from calories from meat also?
If you're not eating butter with your meat, your body will make fats from the protein. But if you're eating fats with your meat, it's not going to use the meat that way. Right. And if you're eating enough fat, your body won't convert any fruits unless you're eating, a quart of blueberries a day, then your body will make fat with it. Right. Even if you're eating a lot of fat, it will do
If I go off
that.
dairy, and I sometimes do not lose weight, even if I go off dairy, I still have body fat. And your body just chooses.
Your body wants to hold it if you have toxins in your tissues. That's why I like everybody to be fat, if they're sick. You'll have protection. If you don't have protection, what's going to happen when those toxins get free? They're going to do more damage. Can you imagine internally, like you had the toxin to come out and dry out the skin and cause itching. It'll do that internally. And you can't scratch it. And you can't apply butter on it directly. You're going to have to eat a ton of butter to get there. Or, a lubrication moisturizing formula. And a lot of it to get there.
But you're lean now. You're eating as much as you used to.
I'm still 18% body fat.
You look
18% body fat. I look 7 to 10%. Remember, when you've been on the diet, I've not eaten cooked fats since 1974. So every fat molecule in my body is tiny and concentrated. When you cook a fat, it swells 1 to 50 times its normal size. So you've got a lot of old, swollen fat in your body.
It's coming out even though I lost weight.
Yep.
So it's deeper from the toxin.
Yeah, in your bones, everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere. It takes 40 years to get rid of all of it. I still have 12 years to go.
What's the ideal body fat for a man or a woman?
For a man, it should be about 22% until they get healthy. Then they can get down to 17, 18% like I am. And then the woman should be anywhere from 26 to 30.
What's the lowest you go to when you reduce? You had mentioned when you were in the Philippines, when you got the shot.
The lowest I got to was 16% body fat.
Oh, so you're pretty slim then.
Oh, I was slimmer than now, let me tell you. I lost 40 pounds that trip.
And you were still...
I was vomiting, I was diarrhea, breaking out, oozing all over the place.
You were still 16%
It was miserable.
body
Pardon?
fat? You were still 16%
Still
body
16.
fat?
If I might have been dead if I'd done less than that.
Are we going to experience that? The vomiting and the diarrhea and the vomiting?
Everybody does sometimes.
The
Yeah.
oozing? We're going to do
Oh, well,
Lots of it.
some people do. Some people do, yes. Yeah, some people do.
Oh, my goodness.
So does the woman go from 26 to 30? What do they go to when they're healthy?
Usually about 22%.
Just think if you're not... I'm sorry.
I was just going to want to finish it. So if mine like 19 something, so that's bad.
That's not good. I think that every woman should be at least absolute minimum 24%. That's so tiny though. That's the absolute least. But I think all women should be 27 to 30.
How do you know what your body fat is?
There are different ways to tell. The absolute perfect way is you immerse yourself in a swimming pool that has a certain electromagnetic field that reads it. Within 1 to 2%, there are scales. You put your weight in, your height, and you get up on it, and it has a way of measuring your body fat. That's what I use mainly.
Float or sink.
It has nothing to do with weight, how much you weigh.
Well, it figures it out. It's a calculus formula, but I'm not going to go into that.
No.
Okay.
Can I ask my question on almonds yet or not?
Let me see. Did I get everybody one time?
yet.
No. You didn't have a question yet? You don't want one?
Everything. He knows everything.
Okay.
I did have a question about, I don't know, since you mentioned the urine thing. I wondered if, I've heard that before about the benefits of, I don't know the details, but I'm wondering, like the clay, does it have a detoxifying effect on the body as well?
Well,
So often-
no, it's mainly a recycling. It does have one element that's for detoxification, that's the ammonia. Ammonia is a good detoxifier. Like after I got those forced injections, I went for shark, and I couldn't because it's high in ammonia. Every day that a shark has been killed, it doubles in ammonia. Stingray does the same thing, so I found a stingray. So I ate stingray for 24 hours. It was so much ammonia, and that stingray was probably a day old already. And I had it, by the time I finished it, it was 36 hours old. So I was hallucinating, I was passing out, I was short of breath, I had all kinds of problems from too much ammonia. Too much ammonia can kill you. But I needed to bind with those poisons quickly. So I used ammonia for that purpose, to bind with toxic metals and substances that were foreign to the body. So I used it in that way. And when you're having urine, you have a little bit of ammonia in it. so it can help detoxify. But mainly, you're recycling all of your fats, proteins, and all the rich nutrients that are in the blood. Because the urine is nothing other than the blood, everything that's in the blood, without all the red and white blood cells.
So how do you get to that point of drinking urine?
I did it when I was a vegetarian, and I had to recycle my proteins because I got getting skinnier and skinnier. I was almost evaporated. So then somebody told me about, India. They drink milk, but they're vegetarians basically, and they drink their urine at least once a day to recycle those proteins that they don't get they don't get because they don't eat meat.
I thought urine was very toxic, though. I thought it was.
It's only as toxic as your diet.
But see, if we have a sad diet, then
It's
we're
toxic.
pretty toxic. So
Absolutely.
if we drank our urine, wouldn't that be counterproductive?
For some people it isn't. They don't get any protein unless they have it that way. In India, vegetarians, even though they're on cooked diets, at least the proteins will be recycled and utilized. I wouldn't do it if I were a cooked food eater. I vomit from regular food anyway, so cooked food, so I can imagine what would happen if I drank my urine. Recycled the cooked food product.
Wow.
Who knows what would happen? Okay, now you can have that question.
I understand all the almonds in California are pasteurized, even the organic raw. There's no way you can get almonds that aren't?
Well, there's only one place that I know of, and that's Organic Pastures. Our milk producers in this, our main milk producer in the state, he has almonds and he refuses to pasteurize his.
They sell those locally at Cream of the Crop, those almonds.
Not the ones that are organic raw. They told me it says on there something, but then they told me the law is in California they have to be pasteurized.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it to his. Maybe the ones he sells to a regular market, he'll go through processing, but give him a call and see.
And then there's the ones from Italy, but they're probably not pasteurized.
If they're allowed into California, they have to be pasteurized.
Okay, organic.
California doesn't want you healthy.
Well, we know that.
Yes.
What if one wants to bodybuild to just produce more like muscle and stuff?
Cheese, butter, and cream. Cheese, butter, and honey helps put on weight fast, muscle weight.
Okay.
Like I started eating a lot more cheese, honey, and butter. Because I don't want to work out. So then I started putting on a lot more muscle because I got really skinny, last year.
So cheesecake, basically.
Yeah, it's cheesecake. But I get tired of cheesecake because it's exactly the same taste every mouthful. But when sometimes the honey goes in first, and then you get to mix them in your mouth, so it's a whole different, it's a smorgasbord of flavors. But if you don't have time, then it's better to have the cheesecake and just grab it and eat it.
I got a question about those lab blood tests. Are you finished?
What time is it?
5:30.
5:30. We got to stop. I'm way past. I've got patients waiting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's 35,
Okay.
right?